Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh. Sir, you can share your PPT, sir.
Okay. So will I start that?
So we'll wait for 1 or 2 minutes, sir. Few participants.
Okay. So I will start at that time. Yeah. Can you see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just tell me this when I will start.
Okay, sir, we'll start. In the meanwhile, they will join.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
If it is okay, then I will start.
Okay. So good afternoon to today's speaker, Dr. Narendra Singh sir, and my dear participants. I welcome you all for the 2-week online faculty development program on renewable energy interventions in industry, domestic, and commercial applications. So, sir is going to deliver a talk on solar cells, ongoing trends, and future challenges. So, sir is uh, from Department of Chemical Engineering, IIT Tirupati. So let us see the brief introduction about the Narendra Singh sir. Sir did a PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, India, and MTech from IIT Delhi, BTech from Harcourt Butler Technological Institute, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. So, sir, interest on photocatalysis, surface engineering of polymer and metal surfaces, nanomaterials, synthesis and characterization, photocatalytic reactors, omniphobic super hydrophobic surfaces, thin films, sensing, surface enhanced Raman spectroscopy, solar energy, oil, water separation, and published many articles in the reputed journals, and also did some projects on of work. So basically, sir is a chemical engineering department, working as assistant professor at IIT Tirupati. So with this small introduction, I would like to uh, hand over the session to the Narendra Singh sir. So please
Yeah,
proceed.
thank you for a small, this nice introduction. So I would like to thank the first organizer this, who gave me opportunity to talk about the solar cells, right? And also I would like to this welcome to all the participants in this 2 days, this 2-week FDP program in this renewable energy intervention in industry, commercial and domestic application. And a special thanks to the Department of Mechanical Engineering, right? And so I will start and then, yeah, if you have any question in between, this you can also ask, okay? So the content of this, my talk will be that introduction and motivation behind that why solar cell energy is required and what is the effect, different perspective of that one, what are the different generation have been came into the pictures from the very beginning to under the, later, right? And then we will discuss about this little bit about that what are the different basic fundamentals of that solar cell which have to be looked at, okay? And then we will go for that generation solar cell like silicon solar cell, thin film solar cell, organic photovoltaics, perovskite photovoltaics, and also this we will discuss about this fabrication technique if we are going for the industrial applications, right? So first is that here you can see this is the my one of the slide that is showing this there is a changes in the every this global warming is, you can see here this global warming is happening, okay? So because of that CO2 is increasing, right? Day by day this our population is increasing, so sophisticated life required a lot of energy, right? So main source of energy we are using, that is the coal energy, right? So coal energy producing a lot of CO2 gases, and then these creating a problem for the environment. Okay, so environment problem, that's a global warming like a 2 degrees centigrade is almost is increasing to the 10 years. Okay, so there is a temperature increase. Okay, okay, exactly I don't remember this, I think a 0.5 degree, right? And also this second point is that one that's like in the villages, right? So in India the 70% is the population in the villages only, okay? 70% population is in the village, okay? Still there are a lot of this villages where this electricity is not there, okay? due to their geographic configuration maybe, and maybe other reasons also. Sometimes maybe that's we cannot provide the this grid formation and all like in the mountains, it will be difficult to maintain the grids, power grids, right? So that where that solar energy comes into the picture very effectively, right? So we can produce the solar energy there, and then further this can be utilized for the different applications, right? So like here this is this FDP program is on the renewable energy, right? For the domestic as well as industrial as well as that's commercial applications. So like a domestic, for the domestic purposes, that's required like fans and all that one, right? Initially, that's the solar energy is a lot of huge power is there, right? So that can be, if we are able to extract that one, then we can get a good environment, and also like here this global warming and pollution can be uh, decreased, right? Here this pollution due to the fossil fuel, we are using this fossil fuel everywhere, right? That's for the cars to I think everywhere that's required this fossil fuels, and it creates a problem of this pollution. Okay, because we require energy for some other process, like sometimes we require, if I will talk about in this chemical engineering, right? So maybe sometimes you require the in the reactors, or maybe in the distillation column, and there we required a lot huge power. Okay, so that huge power is coming from these pollution, the fossil fuels and all that one, but it is same times degrading our environment. So point is that one, that's why we need renewable energy. Okay. So another one, this is the nuclear disaster, right? And nuclear energy is like a clean energy, but there is a management is required. Okay. So if there is any mishappen, then like here you can see in the Hiroshima, not Hiroshima, yeah, in the Japan somewhere. So in that one, that's one nuclear disaster happens, I think almost 4 or 5 years ago, right? So that and it creates a lot of pollution there, and it will also affect this environment. Even not the center point, it will affect that's in the radius of 50 or 100 kilometers, right? So that is the problem with this nuclear energy. Although this is very safe energy, that's not safe energy. This is the clean energy which can be utilized for this electricity. Okay, so if I will go for this photovoltaic, right? So photovoltaic is a direct conversion of the sunlight energy, that's light energy, into the electricity. And we are from electricity we can convert into the thermal energy and all other things, right? So if I will see that bird energy consumption is around 18.5 terawatt, and the 2015 it will be conjugately increasing order, right? So here you can see this total reserve like coal, petroleum, uranium, natural gas. That is the non-renewable energy which can be utilized for this to to get our energy, right? So with the increasing population and increasing industrialization, because our life is like that one, that's we need more and more this comfortable things, right? But comfortable things will come again, this industrialization will be there, right? For something, if you are talking about one pain, then we also require some industry process are there, then we require some energy there, right? This is the electrical energy or maybe thermal energy, we require this energy, right? So if I will see this like renewable energy, like wind is there, biomass, hydro, geothermal, and wave energy, these are, these can also, like wind energy is a powerful source where we can get our energy which is required for the particular this entire region or maybe world requires that one, right? So but it is will be also dependent on some regional basis also, right? So sometimes we may not get too much wind, so that's why this production of this energy is less. Okay, but if we come for the solar energy, right? So like here, the solar energy is this, our consumption is around 5.5 terabyte, but we have a lot of use sources there, use source, okay, use source of energy, which if we are able to extract of 1% of that one, even then we can, even 0.1% of that one, then we can fulfill the dreams, fulfill the demand of all the energy, right? So if I will see here, that's like how to do that one, right? Here, that's like solar energy market is right in the 2019 is around 19.6 billion. That has been increased by the 2016 is 26, right? It's almost 6 times higher than that one, right? So if it is higher than that one, then there is a huge challenges as well as huge development is required there, right? So here this you can see that's we require this energy consumption is around that one, right? If we generate by this only 1% through this photovoltaic, then we can convert, it's almost 10 times of that one, right? Not 10 times, yeah, it's a gigabyte. So if we are using this 1%, then we are supposed to thus fulfill all demands, right? So how it is working? So for that one, we require one semiconductor device. Okay, I will discuss a little bit more about this one. That's how this photovoltaic generation, how this photovoltaics can be created, right? So that is directly this semiconductor device, which is converting this light into this electricity, right? And then we can utilize for the different application. Here, that's you can see this type of different solar cell, which is like flexible solar cell. Okay, so this is one kind of this challenges that we have to produce this flexible solar cells, right? So here, that's if I will go with the economical, right? So like in the total global PV market, mostly that's Asia is the number one. Okay, so in the Asia, almost 60% of that global PV market. Leading countries are China and this Japan, but here you can see that India is almost on the 10th position. So we are very, very far away, but I think right now government has implanted a many schemes on that one. So we are increasing our strength, the solar energy strength, right? So yeah. Here that's you can see that's like global scenario, right? Here that's required of this energy in the different regions like transport, industry, non-combustible buildings. So it is increasing by day, right? Because of the increasing that's higher living in the standard, and also increase this higher living standard. So our global energy demand is increasing day by day, and also this industry sector consumes half of the global energy because they are producing a lot of things, right? Even sometimes new things can come, then industry requires a huge power. Okay, so for the simplicity, that's even for the kids, a lot of type of the toys are there, but to prepare that one, we have to establish one industry, and that industry requires a huge power. Okay, so mostly this industry consumes this half of the energy. Okay, so mostly, and also here you can see this developing country that's resulting in the more power demand, especially like countries like China and India. Okay, so here you can see this there are the different type of energies, right? So here this renewable energy from the last few years have been increased in the demand, because all others energy you can see this is the trending is low. So that's why this we are in the good shape that this creation of the solar cell for the renewable energy sources, right? So here you can see these are the only graphs that says showing that so how this we are implanting that one. That's who is the leading one, what are the different percentage right now using that one, right? Oil and gas industries are mainly, and coal, right? I'm telling about these three, right? This is the non-renewable sources which has been used from the longer time, right? But right now, this you can see this trend, like, okay. So people have been focused. That's researchers have been focused on the renewable energy sources. So in the renewable energy sources, there are the different like. So we will talk about only this, restrict this talk and about that's only solar cells. Okay. So if I will talk about this first, the solar cell, how it will work. So before that, we have to understand this how the solar energy is that. Okay. So if I will talk about the solar energy, right? So like sun is there, and then we are getting this solar energy here, right, on the earth. So before that one, outside of that one, this outside of the our environment, we are getting this almost 1302 watt per meter square there, right? But if it is on the just on the below of the zenith angle, right? Okay, you don't need to go in that much detail, but average, whatever this average we are getting here, that is around that's AM 1.5. This is around 1000 watt per meter square or 952. I'm just writing that one, but that's one. I mean, the most of the cases you will find out that's 1000 watt per meter square. Okay, that is the energy is radiating on the surface. Okay, so our surface, right? So here you can see this. If outside there is a lot of energy is there, right? But due to this environment, there is a decrease in energy, right? So some is the global energy, some is the direct energy. Okay, so direct energy, which is without any interference, they come to the surface of earth, that is the direct energy. And some will be through the diffusion of different molecules presented in this atmosphere, right? So here this is the famous this picture. Okay, so I have taken this one from one education, this PB education. So in that one, you can see that there are the different layers are there. Okay, so these layers actually created some obstruction, obstruction for that particular this light, right? So some of the light will be directly fall on that surface, but some will be scattered due to these oxygen, this water molecules in there, oxygen is there. So they are reflecting back or maybe scattered. Some will be scattered to the space, okay, and some will be absorbed by these molecules, right, which is present in the absorbed. So energy absorbed by the molecules, okay. So here this molecules is absorbing some energy in this one, but few of them is the like here this diffracting, right? So diffraction is happening. So some will be scattered up to into the space. Some is scattered into the that's earth. Okay, that is called the diffuse reflectance. Okay, so if we talk about that one, that's like with the also here I will say that's with the sunlight positions also that's radiation is changing. Okay, so with the position radiation is changing, how this our tracking of the sun should be there, right? And what is the maximum that's possible at one angle we have fixed photovoltaics, and then what is the maximum angle that can be we put that maximum we will get that solar energy, right? So that's why you have seen that this solar photovoltaics is mostly kept at a inclined one, right? So at that one, that is optimized that maximum energy is falling on that person at particular angle. Otherwise, second thing can be done that's with the mechanical motor can be put it there and then track the sun as well. Okay, so to increase the light which is coming on that particular surface. Okay, so if I will talk about the solar energy, right here you have seen the solar energy graphs like this one. Okay, so here that's high energy photons. Okay, when this this wavelength is low, then it means hc by lambda, right? So lambda is low, then it is the high energy photons are there. Okay, so it is very small range of the spectrum actually. So like 5% is total of that is the only ultraviolet. And visual, you will find out this is the low energy, more optical losses is there. Here this in infrared, okay, so that is low energy, okay, more optical losses, like heat is there, right? So infrared is nothing but this is like a heat energy. Jiten? Yeah, I think some disturbance is there. So here there's another one is this, yeah. So this is the visual light, okay. So where there's maximum possibility of utilization of that light, because that is not a low energy even. This is the medium range of that photon energy is medium range, okay. So we have to choose some semiconductor like that one that's can utilize more and more these this photons, okay. So high efficiency photovoltaics is required to harness most of the light in the visual region, as well as I think this in the infrared region it can go, then it's much more better than that one, okay. So if I will talk about this how this solar cell operation happens, right? So in this one there are the two different semiconductors are there, okay. So like PN junction, okay, so one is the P type, one is the N type. When it will come into the contact, then this Fermi level will be become on the same level, and then there will be band bending. In this band bending actually there is a electricity, there's a electric field is generated, okay. So when this under the light, this electron is transferred from the conduction band to valence band, then it further goes to the another this n type semiconductor, and then go to the collector one, and then we can extract that one, right? Okay. So here this you can see this low energy photons will not be create any this electrons and hole pair. So that has been lost. Okay. So we have to optimize this energy band gap so that we can extract more and more electrons, right? So later I will also discuss about that one. So here this in the basic, if I will say that's electronic device that converts the sunlight. Till now this is the our summary of that for that's solar cell basics, okay. So electronic device that is converting the sunlight into the electricity, and we are using primarily this PN junction type, okay. So some electricity that's there will be one intermediate layer will be there, okay. And here this what are the different steps are there. So here the solar light is coming, then electrons and hole pair are creating, okay. So like conduction band and valence band is there. So conduction band and valence band, okay. So whatever this electrons, if I go for the this only chemistry, right? So like we have seen this NaCl is there, right? So it all contains this electrons or not, these are the bounded between them, okay. So there is some this FD like SPDF, right? There are the same some orbitals are there, right? So orbitals that is creating some this is some energy levels are there where that electron can go, and then it can be easily moved. That is the conduction band levels where this if electron we provides sufficient energy, and if it goes into the conduction band, and then it can freely move. But it cannot be freely moved that's for the longer time, right? And like generation is happening in the femtosecond, then recombination again this electron will be come back to the valence band, and that will be happen in the even picoseconds, right? So in 10 to power minus 12, okay. So our point is that if we are generating this enough, so second point is that photons should be absorbed, then generation of these charge carriers should be happen, Okay. So then if generation happen, and then again this will be recombined to this valence band, again this one like here that's generated, but it will come again and then it will be uh, recombined with the whole. Okay. So if it is recombining, then we are not getting any this electricity, right? So that should be diffused. Okay. So like diffusion should be happen. Okay. So that's why this PN junction is coming into the picture. So if you see in the last slide, this electrons is moving from here. This, so here this hole will remain there, right? Because electrons have been passed to the another material. Okay. So on that material, electrons are there. Okay. So on one material, these holes are there. So mainly these two are we are extracting that one, right? So here there's diffusion of charge carriers to the selective contact. So here there's front contact, rear contact, and then we are getting this electron and pair. Here we can put some external load. Okay. So then charge carrier collection, that is happening on this front contact. Okay. And then power dissipation in the load, that can be done whatever this external load is there. Okay. So if I will just okay, similar this right. So one is the electrons in the, this is the in the conduction band, this is in the valence band. Sometimes this nomenclature will be also different for this organic photovoltaics. Okay. So so here this conduction band, and then there are the two layers, right? One is the electron transporting layer, one is the hole transporting layer. So it is favoring only this electrons can transport within this one. Okay. And it is favoring this holes can transport through that one. Okay. So if it is separated out from here, then this will not recombine again. Okay. So that will be, we are extracting that electron and holes from that particular that photon, right? Using this photon, we are extracting this electricity. Okay. Then electrodes are there, then electrodes will collect all these electrons and hole pair, and then we can get energy for that one, right? So here we can use any load, right? So that will be, we can also, this can be stored as well, right? Somewhere that's like a new type of in the new era, that's along with this one, that's battery is also developing with the solar cells, right? So if I will say this characteristic, okay, okay, so characteristic will be dependent on different parameter. Like here, this, what is the maximum current can be happen. Okay. So maximum current can happen when this voltage will be zero. Voltage will be zero means that's we don't have any band gap type of there, right? But current is very high at that, right? Because like this is very small, band gap is very small, so even it can absorb that infrared type of this light, right? So at that time this ISC will be very high. That's JSC also. It is written as JSC in some cases, right? So here this it is converting that very high. Thus electrons and hole pair are created because it is generating too much. It consumes a lot of the photons, and that's why it's creating a lot of this short circuit current. Okay, current is generating. But what about the voltage? So voltage, maximum voltage can be withdrawn between these two, right? Whatever the EG will be there, that will be the maximum. Okay, that's maximum voltage can happen. So there are the two parameters, right? Here, this one is required. This if we want this voltage high, okay, then we have to go for the higher band gap. Okay, but we require if require this high current, then we have to go for the small this band gap. Okay, so they are the two things. So if I will talk about this what is the maximum efficiency. Okay, So like here, that's if we test that one solar cell, okay. So with the ISC and this IV curve, so there is a change in here, right? So some changes will be happening, okay. So like here, if you see the fill factor, we have to maximize this fill factor, right? So whatever that's BI, this is the maximum power, right? At every point, right? So B into I is the maximum power, P equal to VI. And what will be the maximum one? This is the I max and V max, JSC and ASC. Okay. So whatever the photon is coming into that one, and what can be the maximum power drawn. So maximum power drawn can be here, right? So like here PB, we are I into V, we are going that one. So it is increasing up to certain point and then decrease. Okay. So we have to somehow increase this fill factor. Okay. If fill factor will be high, then efficiency of that particular solar cell will be also high. So if I will see here the series and shunt resistance. Okay. Just giving one example, like here this ideal solar cell, like here this one. Okay. If it is showing that this current is decreasing drastically, right? Okay. Current here the voltage is decreasing, right? Voltage no, voltage is increasing, but current is decreasing. So there are the two parameters here, right? One is the like our solar cell have some thickness, okay. So there may be some leakage of current can happen, okay. So leakage of current is happening. That's why the shunt resistance is increasing. So shunt resistance is increasing. So that's why B is decreasing. Okay. Another one is that if there is any chances that in the interfaces, okay, interfaces, if there is any resistances, that's we have to make this interfaces very smooth. Okay. So there will be no defects and all that one. So that's why electrons holes cannot recombine, right? So at that time that will be much more faster than this one, right? So this is all the basic of that one. Okay. So here there's different you can see there's different type of solar cells have been. This is an REL graph uh, uh, in the solar cell. Okay. So how this development is happening from the early this 1975, how it is going on, right? So here you can see this crystalline solar silicon solar cell is much more developing from the very I think in the 1970 around, right? It started from that one. And that single cell solar cell is showing efficiency around 25-26 for the single crystal silicon solar cell. Later, it's actually silicon solar cell is very costly. So second generation has came like thin film solar cell. Okay, in that one, there's also have been here you can see there's no development too much. Okay, but later it is increasing. Okay, so it is increasing, and then its generation is started around 1990, right? At that time, people think that like silicon solar cell have been developed like that one. Okay, so how to reduce that cost actually? Okay, so in the third one, that's like emerging that's photovoltaics. There are the different dye sensitized perovskite and perovskite silicon, and also this tandem solar cells comes into the picture, quantum dot perovskite. Okay, all these I will discuss one by one with this how this efficiency have been increasing. Okay, so like silicon solar cell is showing around 26%. Okay, here this you can see this is this perovskite solar cell is started developing around 2009. Okay, although here it's not written, but it started around 2009, and then it is increasing very rapidly. Okay, so that is one point that's where we have to think that's which is much more good material for the photovoltaics and all that. Okay, so if I will see, okay, so one point is here. So I have already discussed this one. This eta is this efficiency, that is ISC, BOC, and FF. This is the fill factor, and what is the photon energy incident, right? So For the higher ISC, we require this lower energy band gap, right? For higher ISC, because we want more efficiency, right? Efficiency we have to maximize, right? Efficiency we want to maximize, right? So if we want to maximize, then the simple mathematics rule, this ISC should be high, VOC should be high, right? And also fill factor will be high, right? Okay. So if I will see this fill, if ISC I want high, then lower energy band gap is requirement. Okay. If I will say this higher VOC is requirement, then we need require this high EG. Okay. So if it is related with this one, that's VOC equal to KT Q IL by I naught plus I1. Okay. So this is the I naught expression that comes into the picture, EG, right? So if EG is higher, then we will create, will have more VOC. Okay. So these are the two contradictory things, right? So here that's contradictory thing. So we have to take some band gap in between of that one, not the full that low band gap or maybe higher band gap. So like Shockley-Queisser limit is there. So they have done some experiment, beautiful experiment, okay, in 1961. That's with the band gap, how this maximum efficiency can be go there, okay. So like here, JSC and ISC, JSC and BOC are the two parameters, right? So when this band gap will be low, right, then JSC will be high, but this BOC will be low. So that's why maximum efficiency is not there. So it is somewhere around that here, right? So that's 1.3, 1.4 electron volt. That is much more good band gap for the photovoltaic applications. Okay. So here there's different losses of there. Okay. So like technical losses, like here there's losses due to reflection, because these are the fundamental losses: loss due to low energy photons, loss of FF, and voltage, and there's a loss of this excess energy photons. Okay, these are the fundamental losses. We cannot do anything. We can do with the material fabrication, right? How to utilize more and more these photons. But if I will talk about this technological issue, then we will see that's loss due to reflection, loss due to the insufficient absorption, loss due to recombination. So these things can be these are the challenges, right? So at that time, this loss, if something is happening due to the reflection, so we can use some anti-reflective coating, and then we can have higher efficiency of that particular photovoltaic. Okay. So like here, insufficient absorption is there. So use some material which have high absorption coefficient. But in the meantime, that's we need that particular it is higher absorption, but should create some this electrons recombination should not be happen. So some transportation properties should be there, right? So these are the generation of the solar cell. We have already little bit I have discussed on this one. The first generation is the silicon solar cell. It's almost 27%. Okay, 26, 27%. So there are the different type, the single crystalline, multi crystalline. These are the expensive one. This is the challenge. Okay. So here the challenge is this expensive one. Why it is much more expensive? Because we have to create this single crystalline, okay, silicon. So that cost is also one parameter that is making it more expensive. Okay, because creating this single crystalline, okay, so that is also one type of problem. Okay, in the second generation, like amorphous low efficiency is there, and like a CIGS, copper, indium, gallium selenide. Okay, so there the expensive due to the indium, and also this is rare material, right? So we cannot use that one particular. Okay, and also this is amorphous, that's have the low efficiency. So further that challenges is there, right? And also this is the like CDT, this is the cadmium toxic, and rare the telluranium. Okay, in the third generation, like organic, quantum dot, dye-sensitized solar cell. So dye sensitized means that's a TiO2 is sensitized with some dye, and then they are creating some electrons and hole pair, right? So here this it is low efficiency. Organic solar cell is also low efficiency, and also some are the unstable. Like organic solar cell is also unstability is there. Okay, but here this you can see this in the quantum dot. Okay, a lot of also there is a scope, right? So quantum dot actually they can it can be tunable as well. Okay, although the perovskite is also tunability can be there. Okay, tunable means band gap is tunable. Okay, with the change of this particular material. Okay, material configuration. So this is one challenge is there. This is the instability of this one. Although these have been increasing very high, right? This efficiency is very high. Okay, so these all I am talking about only the single junction solar cell. Okay, not the multiple one. The tandem solar cell that efficiency is up to I think 48 around, right? So there are the 2-3 materials have been developed on have been used one above the other, right? So in the first generation, like silicon solar cell, okay. So there are the three different like monocrystalline, multicrystalline, amorphous. Amorphous comes into the second. Also, this amorphous have been generated. So here you can see this. What is the difference in that one? So actually, monocrystalline is that one. Thus, all the atoms are arranged in a proper manner. Okay. While in the polycrystalline material, atoms are although they are arranged in some packets, right? Not the whole. That's if you are taking from here, right? So that will not be the same here, right? So in the like monocrystalline, if you see, you take this packet from here, you take this packet from here, but this will be the same. Okay, so amorphous is perfectly this all the atoms are not arranged in a proper manner. Okay, so these are the few examples of like this is the amorphous one. So here you can say this disorder is there, right? In the polycrystalline, this order is there, but not specifically for the longer region. Okay. So here this monocrystalline silicon cell is produced by the pure silicon. Okay, single crystal. And since the molecules, this monocrystalline silicon is pure and defect free, the efficiency of this solar cell is much higher. Okay. Similarly, this polycrystalline material, like here, this polycrystalline material is the raw material and used by the solidification of process. Okay. So these are not arranged in a proper manner, but it is arranged. Okay. So the materials contains various crystallized size, hence the efficiency of this solar cell is lower than this monocrystalline. So what is the reason for that one? That's here that's if electron and hole pair are created, right, that they can transfer quickly from this one. But here this gap is there, so that's why there is a defects are there, so recombination can be happen. In the amorphous, it's much more. Okay. So here this amorphous silicon was obtained by this depositing silicon film on the substrate like glass. Okay. So here you can see this one example of that one. That's we are using this amorphous because here we don't require too much energy, right? So if there is some energy, then it's also okay for this calculators, right? But for the particular application like where this high efficiency is required, then silicon crystalline solar cells, monocrystalline. Okay, at the time, but problem is that these are the expensive one. Okay, so polycrystalline, mostly these materials have been utilized in the domestic applications, right? These are the solar cells type of. So here that's you can see that's this what are the different things. That is the diamond cubic structures. One point is that's one indirect band gap. Okay, so indirect band gap actually when this I will draw these energy states, right? So this is the direct band gap. Okay, so here this energy is required, that is directly from this to this point. Okay, but in case of others, right here, these electrons require some energy in the p direction as well. This momentum is also required there. Okay, so that's why we can replace this one with some direct gap material. Okay, and also these are the natural refractivity is very high, so that's net, we require some anti-reflective coating on that one and doping by this P and P. Okay, so like this design is given for the changes of that one, right? So here this you can see, like here this it is increasing very much because loss is happening due to this reflectance. Okay, so there is a one anti-reflective coating have been generated. So like electrons comes here, and then like here this is the silicon. Okay, then it comes onto again go back. Okay, if this anti-reflective coating is not there or texturing is not there, then it cannot come again, right? So that's why some generation of these type of non-text this texturing or reflective coating over surface, that will increase the incident light. Okay, so surface is coated with the anti-reflection coating, avoid the losses of this incident light energy. Okay, due to this reflection. Okay, and here this metal contact have been prepared like this one, so these are collecting this electrons are whole. Okay, so second generation, so in this one the expensiveness is the expensive, these solar cells are expensive, that is the one main problem. Okay, so for the if we are using this one, then its cost, actually average cost for the electricity is very high in compared to which we are getting from this our this hydro energy, right? So here this in the thin film solar cell, this tellurium the generation of that one. So in the silicon, actually material is used in the micrometer. Okay, around micrometers. So layer is there. Okay, so that is also increasing that cost because we have more materials, right? So second generation in that one, the thin film solar cell. So at that time, this we are coating some less amount of materials, right? So here that's like a CDT. Okay, some example of that one. So efficiency is very high, but low cost has been demonstrated. But this is the problem. That's tellurium is that's not in the sufficient amount. Okay, so if even we succeed in this one, but it can be utilized for the space application and all other applications, right? Where that's we require very high energy and cost has no barrier. Okay, but for the distribution in the village level or maybe domestic level, so that's material is the one point that is not availability. Okay, non availability of that one. And also sometimes it's also seen that cadmium is there, right? So cadmium can affect on the this our environment. So that is another point that's it should be removed. Okay, so second one is this copper, indium, gallium, selenide. In that one, the efficiency is high, relatively low cost, band gap engineering can be possible. But there is a problem that's in indium and gallium are not in the sufficient amount. Okay, so here this further it comes like Zn some development in that one, right? So like here this it has been using this Zn and Sn, right? And compared to here this is the indium and gallium, but efficiency at that time is low. Okay, although low cost, but efficiency is low, then it cannot be utilized for the industrial applications, right? So that is the point. So here this you can see this thin film solar cell, actually it shows this different x value, right? So whatever this compositional property, it can change their band gap. Okay, so there are the tunability in the band gap. So tunability means that we can utilize this one for the low energy to higher energy, from the low energy photons, absorbing the low energy photons as well higher energy photons. Okay, so we can tune that property, right? And here this you can see there are the different layers. Although these research problem is like so there are the fuse component. Okay, effect of different layers is also one research interest, right? So here you can see this typical structure is like this one. This electrode, this is the substrate, and this is the main layer where this electrons and hole pair are creating. This is the n-type layer where this electrons will move, okay, and that's this is the electron transport layer on the then top electrode where this electrons will be collected, okay. Similarly, second side, this we are collecting this holes, okay, and then creating. So these are the typical layers of this, how this layer is the typical type of 2 micrometer, right? So in the silicon solar cells, this is up to 100, 200 micrometer. So that can be replaced with the absorber layer, very minimal amount, okay? And okay, so one like here, that's just for the example, I am showing this one. That's like here, this intermediate layer have been put it here. That's ZNS, right? So ZNS have been put it. So wow, what are the properties have been changing, right? So it is improving the morphological properties in between these two, right? And also improve this crystallization property, reduce the copper diffusion to the back. Like here, this copper, zinc, tellurium, and silicon selenite, right? That's sulfur selenide, okay. So in this one, thus you can see this some after certain time, this it diffusing into this electrode of MO. That have been one problem, right? So like improve, how to improve that? So there is a people have put it one another layer on that one, ZNS, okay. So that can improve that particular, this diffusion can be stopped, okay. So like here, there's future challenges in this type of solar cells. So high efficiency thin film solar cell with the proper which elements is available in huge amount, okay. Another one is non-toxic like CD, lead, we cannot utilize that one, okay. Interface optimization, like here this I have seen this there is a changes in the copper is diffusing to the another layer, right? So that's we have to optimize this interface, okay. Just wait 1 minute. Okay. So another one, that's next I will see this in the third generation, a lot of type of solar cells are there, right? So in this one, that's first I will discuss about this organic solar cells, okay. So organic solar cell, it can be more flexibility can become, because here this we are using this polymer type of materials, right? Although these are the cheaper levelty, okay, lower cost, lightweight, okay, but I will show this what are the different problem in this one, okay, organic solar cell. So like here, that's there are the different layers, okay. So different layers, like we have seen that what are the different layers. One is the absorber layer, okay. So here this absorber layer is something, and then one is the STL, okay, hole transport layer. One is the ETL, okay. One is the contact, one another contact, okay, both sides. So here this what substrate should be, like here this one is the ITU, that is conventionally very transparent and anodic in nature, but problem is that one not ideal. This is the high price and problems such as release of oxygen and indium. So this is one type of problem, right? So how to replace this glass ITU with something other material, right? So indium tin doped, this indium oxide, right? Indium doped tin oxide, right? So FTO is also new type of this substrate is coming, okay. Mostly you, right now in the use as well, okay. So like here this whole transport layer, okay. So there are the different whole transport layer, right? So quick reuse of holes generated inside the reactive layer upon the photovoltaics and minimize the chances of recombination. So here this whole transport layer is there. whatever this electrons and hole generated, then holes quickly go to that one. So these are the different hole transport layers. Okay, so that can be optimized as which property is much more good for this particular this hole transport layer. Okay, so another one main heart of that solar cell is the this active layer. This is the absorber layer. Okay, so where the electrons and hole pair are generated, that is the heart. Okay, all other things are actually required to generate that to complete that structure, right? But main point is that one, there are the different, these are all organic polymers. Okay, so this is like a p type, n type, this is a combination of these two. Okay, and these are the combination of these this have been prepared by the acceptor and donor material. Okay, in the bulk heterojunction. So here this one is the acceptor, one is the donor. Okay, but here this lifetime of organic, so that's life, so this is lifeline, right? Thus I'm saying this heart of that particular matter, any solar cell. Okay, so but here this acceptor and donor material are there, so electrons and hole pair are created, so one is taking that one and one is releasing that one, right? So further then it will be, we have to collect that one at some electrode, right? So like here there's calcium, aluminum Ag, all the gold, platinum, these are the utilizing for that one. Right now few work is going on, this carbon type of materials have been also utilizing for the cathode and all that. Okay, so here there are the different structure, like irregular structure where this negative electrodes is getting that. Here the substrate is this one, right? So whatever the slide is coming from this side, and we are collecting this holes from that side. ITO is collecting holes, and electrons and hole pair are creating here, and then holes will hole will pass through this P dot PSS, and then further collected by ITU. Similarly, in this inverted structure, this electrons and hole pair are created, but electrons are collecting on the ITU. Okay, and holes are collecting from the other side. Okay, so these are the challenges, like here. Okay, in the planar junction. Okay, so here this you can see this electrons and hole pair are created, but it will take time to pass through that one here, right? So before that one, it may be this recombine. Okay, so people have started a lot of thinking on that one, how we can increase that efficiency, right? So like checkerboard type of, that's here, that's there are the two different materials, right? They are the P dot PSS, so they are using at one and one, so electrons can be moved very quickly to this one, and then to the electrode. Okay, similarly holes can be moved in this only. Okay, and here this is the mixer bulk heterojunction, where this both are the blended, and then when electrons and hole pair are created, one is moving in one polymer and one other is moving in the another polymer. Okay, so these are the things which have been happening. Okay, but diffusion is the one problem. Okay, so like here this diffusion of excitons is very less. Okay, and short excitation lifetime of this semiconductor, so that is limiting this one. Okay, so another point is this limiting, this is the limitation with the active layer. Okay, when there's more thickness, more active layer, more charges will be created, more current will be there, and better efficiency. Okay, but we cannot go for the higher and higher thickness. At that time, this diffusion length of excitons is very less, so that's why all the excitons which this electrons and hole pair are created, they will recombine again. Okay, so that is the point. So I will, okay, I will skip this one. That's in the plasmonic. So that is the one way of that one. That's if you increase the efficiency. So here that's anti-reflective. It works as anti-reflective. So that one more light can be absorbed. Okay. Another point is this a dielectric because of these metal nanoparticles. can create these dielectric layers. Okay, so that's why improvement of this electrons in hole pair. That's recombination and transportation. Separation of these electron and transportation is will be easy. Okay. So next generation is that one that's so I'm just saying this in the third generation, that's perovskite structures. Okay. So that have been started around 2019 and then it goes into the use level. Okay. So like right now it's around 25% is the maximum efficiency. So if I will talk about this motivation behind this one, that's efficiency sort of from the merely 3.8% in 2009. Okay. Right now have been increased up to the 25% in 2019. And it is comparable to the silicon solar cell. Okay. These are the solution pressures. Okay. Because we are using this PBI2 or this organic and organic halides, right? And putting that on the costing, and then we are generating the solar cell, right? But in the case of silicon, we are creating that silicon, monocrystalline silicon from the different process. Okay, so it is having the huge cost. Okay, so here the no cost will be variable, right? Low temperature, because we are creating this at the low room temperature only. Okay, and also the scalable is there, and quasi limit around 30%. So we can go up to that, not up to that one, but we can further increase that efficiency, right? High absorption coefficient, mainly in the Bijbil range. Okay. So here you can see there are the different power conversion efficiency with the band gap. Okay. So this is the one kind of the Schottky crystalline limit, right? So this one. Okay. So here different you can see this different materials where they sit. Okay, like perovskite is here. Okay, gallium silicon crystalline, the single crystalline is here, right? CIGS is there. Okay, so that's improving actually. Efficiency is improving by this perovskite structure, but there are the few difficulties are there. So that we will discuss a little bit later. Yeah. Okay. So, like here, the perovskite and silicon solar cell, two are the materials, right? So here the efficiency is achieved around 25.2, right? And 26.6 in the silicon solar cell, right? And durability is stable till 1 year, okay? So here the stability is very high. This is the last up to 20 years, okay? So perovskite, one is the point is that stability is the issue right now, because it cannot be if it is not stable for a longer time, then you have to purchase again and again, right? So here the cost is cheap, but durability is less, so that's why we cannot compare this. Even this it is expensive, because this lifetime is this one is 20 years, this is 1 year, right? So we have to purchase this perovskite for the 20 times, right? So that if although one time perovskite solar cell is cheaper than that one, right? So this purification makes actually in this one there's a purification process, right? In the silicon solar cells, we have this single crystal of silicon generation is the expensive process. Okay. So okay. So what different type of this structure is this ABX3? Okay. So mostly this is utilized as Ma, methylammonium, formalium, cesium, PBI, PBSN, chloride, bromide, and iodide. Okay, with the changes of this one, because this is the tolerance factor, you have to check that one. That's A and B. Otherwise, if a tolerance factor in not in a certain rate, then it will not form. Okay. So here you can see this. What are the different properties of this actually perovskite material? So perovskite material, you can see this from the x equal to 0 to x equal to 1. This is changing, okay? Particularly this tunable band gap is there, okay? And also efficiency. This second point is this most commonly this usually use the perovskite material. This is the band gap of this one. Okay, although band gap will be changing, here you can see different band gap for the different materials, like here. Okay, here you can see they are the different perovskite material and their different band gaps are there. Okay, but for this material it is showing this one, right? Low excitation, this high absorption coefficient, this is important, right? So absorption coefficient if high, then we are creating more and more electrons and hole pair. If more and more electrons hole pair, how many will be this recombined and all that one, but still we can get something, right? So high absorption coefficient is the one parameter which is required, right? Second one is the tunable band gap. Here the tunable band gap is there, that is playing a role in that one, right? And also the low, okay, tunable band gap, and here there's long diffusion length. Okay, so for the highlight, actually it's a long diffusion. If you remember this in the organic photovoltaics, we are seeing only this diffusion length is up to 10 nanometer, right? But here this up to 100 nanometer, this electron and hole pair can go for. Okay, and longer carrier lifetime. Okay, so that is creating this transportation will be these electrons and hole pair will be easy, will get more time, right, before recombination. So that is the point. So, so here you can see they are the different perovskite layer. Okay, so like TCO, that is the only this glass substrate and having some coating of that one. This is the one type of electrode, and then electron transport layer, then perovskite material, hole transport layer, and then we are creating another contact. Okay, this is the typical image of that one. So like same image that have been created, and for the different layer it has been shown that with the different color. Okay, so like here this is the whole transport layer, this is the one contact. Okay, this is the your perovskite material. Okay, and this is the compact layer. Okay, compact layer for the electron transport layer, and FTO. So FTO is actually these are the materials which can be utilized. So electron transport layer, what are the role that one? That's electron dislocalization and electron extraction. So here this electrons and hole pair are created. So excitons dissociation, then electron will be moved to this one and electron will be extracted. Holes will be extracted by this one. So here the photon is absorption. Main is the point that photon is absorbing, and then charge carriers are generation, and like materials are here this one. Okay, so like CS3 and ST PBI3 are with the changes in this chlorine concentration and the other material concentrations, right? In the electron transport layer like PiO2, SNO2, PCBM and all that. Whole transport layer is that which is whole extraction and whole transportation is carried out. That is the Spiro MTD type of materials, right? So there are the two different. This is the just one that's planar structure and inverted structure. I have discussed a little bit about this in the organic solar cell, so I'm just skipping here. Okay, so here that's mesoporous structures. So mesoporous structure actually in this one that's mesoporous, that's Al2O3 and TiO2 have been put it there, right? With that one, and with this one, this electron, this perovskite layer is been utilized. Okay, so when these electrons and hole pair are created, then utilizing this mesoporous structure, that can be faster movement to that electron transport layer. Okay, electrons can transport through this layer, mesoporous layer. Okay, and that will be come into the electron transport layer. So more efficiency will be there. Okay, energy intensity too, but efficiency with the reduced hysteresis. Okay. Okay, so electron transport layer. So there are the different type of materials like organic, inorganic type of material. So these should be also matches with this one. Okay, so like here, this there are the different band gaps are there, right? You can see this there are the different. So mostly this WOX or SNO2, these are the good material which can be utilized for that particular. Like here you can see this electrons and hole pair can generated and electrons and hole pair can move from here. Here you can see this for the improvement of that one, because here this contact is there, right? So this is some electrons is under illumination. Okay, so here you can see this electrons is much more moving faster. Okay, so this is the band alignment is the one criteria to check for that. Okay, so that is the challenge. That's which materials we have to utilize. Okay, so there are the different methods. Okay, so method of coating, like one step coating, two step coating, how it will be behaving like that one, and how the which one will be much more better. Okay, so like one step, that's a CS3 NS3 all in the DMS solution, and we are utilizing and then forming this perovskite layer. While in the two-step coating, it has been formed by first PbI2 and then CS3 NS3I, and then it's reacting and then forming this perovskite structure. Okay, so here that's in the one-step coating, this main thing is that faster and simpler technique, because we are using only one step, right, and gives efficient and low cost perovskite. Okay, but here the poor surface coverage is there, so efficiency may be low. Okay, so there is a large amount of shunt paths allow the contact between the electrodes. Okay, in the two step, this improve homogeneity. Okay, morphology easily controlled, reproducible, and complicated application cost. And two steps are there, so higher cost is there. Okay, so here you can say this with the one step coating, you can see there are a lot of type of this. Okay, so these are the pinholes, like so leakage current be there, right? So leakage current be there, so shunting will can happen. So that's why this is not a good film, right? But with the no major porous, the surface coverage reduced by the 75% compared to that. Another way, these are the things that have to be in mind, right? So another method is like fast crystallization deposition method. So here utilization of the some solvent, second solvent, and then creating this crystallization process. Crystallization process is there, but we are controlling this crystallization process. So here you can see that's there is a use, not any gap or type of there, right? So that is much more good film. If it is a single film, okay, then it will be much more good. Okay, because at here this electron and hole pair are created, but at the interfaces it can recombine. Okay, so if that's why silicon crystal, the single crystal, because there is homogeneity across that one. Okay, so that's why electron and hole pair can easily move within that one. So to improve this film quality, that will be increase the efficiency of that particular solar cell. Okay, so here you can see this with the different this perovskite. So here the efficiency have been increased up to 13.5. It is this for the conventional, it's only 1.5, but using this chlorobenzene and improving the film quality, this efficiency is increased up to the 14%, right? So another method is like this one, that's only the solvent engineering, right? Any question? Yeah. Okay, so I will come back with later. What is the time? Okay. So in this one, the solvent engineering, there are the different solvent can be utilized. Okay. So with the solvent, thus we are actually changing this crystallization process. Okay, crystallization and how this growth can be happen. Okay, so we are controlling that things, right? That is the point here. Okay, so like here, this one. And this one is the vapor assisted deposition. Like here in organic film, PbI2 is there, and then we are providing the organic, the CS3 and S3I, and then perovskite film is forming. Okay, so this is the bit here. It's much more uniform. So good for the large scale industrial production, and also above process result in the enhanced quality. Okay. So another that's challenges in this perovskite solar cell is the high temperature annealing, right? So temperature annealing of this only ATL, right? Not the all material, only TiO2 layer or ZNO layer, then we need that annealing there. Okay. Another thing is this, these are the challenges. There's moisture stability, thermal stability, UV stability, lead toxicity. Hysteresis I did not talk about this, so I will just for the forward and bias, forward and reverse bias, there is a hysteresis. Okay, just for you information. So here the stability is the one problem. So present challenge is this one, right? Stability is the one issue. Another issue is that one. This is the lead toxicity. So if we can remove that particular this material, right? Okay. So here this you can see this for with the initial activation, then performance is directly degrading with the light, humidity, okay, with the biasing, because one time charging, discharging, its efficiency is decreasing. Okay. So with the efficiency, actually few articles are there where they have shown that CS3 NS3 PBI3 is converting into the PBI2 again. Okay. So these are the few changes that is happening. Okay. But with the changes in this I, this X, right? So stability is little bit higher for some, okay? Like here there's X equal to 0.20 and X equal to 0.29, much higher, but still it is much more debatable. That's efficiency have not been tested for the longer time, right? So like if it is one for the 1 year only, then it's also not viable for the industries, right? So another one is this tin based. Okay, that's replacing this silk, this SN with the tin, okay, and not the SN with the tin. This is the PB with the tin. Okay, and that it will be, but efficiency is low for these cases, right? So you still need a lot of modification required in these cases, right? How this uh, can be improved further, right? So like here the CS is have been utilized. Here this band gap is okay, and also absorption coefficient is also okay, and also low temperature is okay, but efficiency is still low. And people are thinking, the researchers are thinking about that one, how it can be improved that one further. Okay. Another this challenges in this one, this development of these perovskite solar cell outside of this glove box. Okay, because mostly this is prepared through the prepared in the glove box, and also that's in the utilizing the low temperature technique. Okay, interest and this investigation effect of the low temperature annealing of TiO2 in the oxygen environment. Okay, so how it can be improve the further efficiency of that perovskite solar cell, or how it will be affecting the solar cells. Okay. So huge challenge is that one, that's particularly lab, right? But how to increase this efficiency, okay, and how to scale up that process. So if I will talk about this scale up, right, for the commercial scale, right? For the commercial scale, we require this, it should be durable, efficient, and low cost, right? And fast processing technique. If you want to produce the solar cell for any applications, right, for any domestic or maybe industry application, right, it should be stable, efficient, and low cost. Okay, these are the three things, right? To produce economically, right? So here there's no research, operation stability of the device, why device and material breakdown uh, in the longer time. Okay, and another one is this new material, right? That is showing good stability and efficiency, and also here this processing cost limit, that is the one point. Okay, so like in the lab scale, mostly these things have been done through the sol gel, this hydrothermal method, or maybe we are using only this only costing of that material, right? So because these are the technique at the lab level is okay, but for the industrial scale, we require something that is reproducible at every time, right? And it is easily to operate, right? Okay. So there are the few fabrication process that is like much more research has been not done on the lab scale on these things, right? So that's like fabrication techniques like solution based, vapor assisted, like physical and chemical vapor deposition can be carried out. And here the solution based coating and printing technique, roll to roll technique. Okay. So like coating technique, like in the rubber stamp, right? Okay. So in the office stamp, we have rubber stamp. That's we can put that one, right? So here the similarly the printing can be done. Okay. A layer of ink is transferred to the stamp and then substrate to the by the reversing action. Like here, this it's a reverse, right? So here, different stamps have been used. Okay. So like this type of techniques can be utilized on the lab scale. So their scale up will be easy. Okay. Second one is like casting. Okay. Mostly in the lab scale is had been done, right? Like this one. But here the advantage is no equipment needed except a very horizontal surface. Only her surface is horizontal should be there, right? But procedure is simple, and also that's possible to prepare a good quality of film, right? But here there's thick film, also thick film and homogeneity is the one problem. And also there's film thickness, lack of control over the film thickness, and low control over the edges. Here you can say edges are the low control. Okay. And precipitation during the drying. Here this you can say this precipitation is happening. Okay. So these are the things which restrict these application in the costing, like costing technique. That is mostly used in this our particular this lab skills, right? So here this spin coating, that is much more good technique. But here this what are the different parameters, right? One is the this angular velocity. What are the viscosity of that one? This is the concentration or viscosity we can say. Ambient conditions, and then what time is required. Okay. If we are going for the very higher and time, like here you can see, there are the different pictures, right? So here this you have put it that's a solution, and then it will be coated as a one thin film. Okay, over the substrate. Okay, so but here the problem is that we are wasting a lot of material. Okay, waste of material, right? Although it's mostly used technique in the laboratories is okay, but material will be contaminated, and we are using a lot of materials there. Okay. So this is also one type of this material. This here this put it. Okay. So like here this one silicon solars have been put it. Here this dye is first solution have been pushed here, right? And then it is moving. Okay. This moving, and then it is spreading that one. Okay. Sharp blade is spreading that fixed distance, right? So typically this can be fixed into this 10 to 100 500 millimeter. Okay. The final bed thickness of this ideally this half the gap of it. Okay. So here this we are utilizing a lot of material, right? Not say less material. It is also one type of technique have been utilized in the lab scales, but at that time the thickness of this these layers are very high. Okay. So screen printing, like here this there are the three, like here print ink. Okay. So like here this open area with the fill, like here ink have been filled. Okay. Then here it is transferring to the substrate. Okay. So this is the one kind of technique that's where the two-dimensional patterning can be done, right? And low loss of the coating solution, right? But these things have been not available because research have been not too much on these screen printing on that one, right? So mostly we are using this our conventional method like sol gel and then spin coating of these things, right? But still a lot of things have to be optimized on these things, right? So like a screen of woven material like synthetic fiber and has to be frame on this one, right? And then we can find out the solar cell one by one layer. Mostly if ink is like that one, this is should be some polymeric type of solution, right? It should not be this spread, it will spread all over, right? So solution preparation is another one problem, okay? So how much viscosity is needed for this screen printing, okay? Viscosity can play a role because otherwise splitting will not be uniform, okay? This one is the rotatory, this here this one is the, okay, this is the obstruction and this is the ink and this is this baby is moving, okay? And then this is the layer is forming over the substrate. So that is the point, that's only this roller is moving and then we are getting this ink, and because of here the squeezing is happening, like you see in the this juicer, right? We are getting some juice, okay? So in this one, thus we are putting something and then it will be squeezes, and then you will see that's all the like sugar cane, that's okay, all the sugar canes are like a flat one, okay? Only the similar thickness will be there, right? So similarly, this is utilizing here, this squeezing is happening, okay? But it is much more less level of that one, that's maybe or maybe micrometers one, okay? So here this inkjet, this is this substrate is moving and then we are put droplet is happening, okay? And then for this is forming that particular, whatever this droplet is outside that one, okay? Like here this is one droplet is bending from that particular path, okay? That has been collected through this one, okay? So novel process for the point of view, but problem is here that these are the costly one, right? So disadvantage is the printing speed, that is a slow one, okay? Not the very fast. Here thus we can get the high resolution and same choice for the solvent, and only few research paper in this techniques in the photovoltaic area. Another limitation is that low viscosity is required, okay? And this also should be electrostatically charged, okay? Otherwise it cannot go that in the direction, right? So useful for the creation of the complex pattern, where the like here you can see this there the different thickness have been utilized, right? So thickness and also this solar cell pattern is also different from that one, okay? So okay, I will remove this one. That's roll to roll technique, okay? Few roll to roll technique, like here one is the knife over edge, okay? So that is simply this doctor blade code, right? So here only this we have this one knife is there, okay? And ink is feeded and then this is coming to the picture. Here this ink is feeded through this one slot, okay? And then electron this is going on that one, okay? Here the knife is creating that one, okay? Ink is feeding from this one. First it will be transferred on this surface and then further it will be transferred on this, okay? So reverse is happening there, okay? So okay, so here also liquid required of the low viscosity, because if high viscous then it may be sometimes maybe jam is there, right? But here there's no wastage of ink. These are the things which is much more controllable, okay? So like here this baby is moving, okay? Baby is moving, this knife is in this case is the stationary one, okay? So we are creating, okay, slot die. So here there's a die is putting on this one and then we are rolling that one, okay? And then perovskite structures have been created, or maybe any other type of layers can be created. So here this uniform and control thickness, okay? But control thickness means that we have to go for the lower and lower thickness, okay? So that is another one point, that's where we have to how to design this actually slot dry, okay? So that we can go for the 200 300 nanometer thickness film, okay? So okay. So this one is the for the multi-layer. Okay, multi-layer means this is the curtain type. Okay, so we have put it 3 dies. Okay, one one above the other. It is moving like that one, and then we are getting this. We can create whole structure rapidly, right? Whole structure rapidly. But point is that one that these techniques are difficult to this diffusion of cannot be happen with these layers, right? That is the one point we have to think about this. What are the viscosity of this all 3D ink? So uh, that's diffusion cannot happen. Also, that's one layer by layer will remain the same, and high quality of layers will create. Okay. Okay. Hmm, this one is not a part of it. So this is the comparison all the over the like here this ink based is very high, right? So we cannot here this do this patterning. Okay, patterning is possible on these highly. This one is highly inkjet is highly patternable, right? So whatever type of this we require, that can be we can do. But here there's again problem in this one. There's different ink viscosity, right? Okay, speed is low. Okay, speed required is slow for this one. For this one slow. Here the speed is not a matter, right? But here the speed is we can increase that one, and here this also increased. But these are the like these two, right? So here the speed is low. Although this is very patternable, right? But speed is low, so production will be less. Okay, and also in this ink preparation. Okay, so one is the simple one. Okay, for these whenever this 5 is there, right? So these are the very difficult to okay prepare means this viscosity. Actually we have to check all the parameters of that one, right? This ink that should be coated on that substrate, right? Otherwise if ink parameters does not match, then it will not coat. Okay, another one is ink viscosity. That has been some restrictions on that one, and here you can see this limitation on that one, right? The thickness, whatever the thickness is right? But sometimes we require this thickness in the between of that very less than that even nanometers. So at that time we require this particular which can be utilized. Okay, and roll to roll compatible. There's one solar cell over and then second solar cell come. Okay, so that is type of roll to roll technique. Okay, so whatever the so there is a like spin coating and casting are the not roll to roll. Others are the perfectly matching with the roll to roll technique. Okay, so okay, for the industrial scale, that's second type I have told about this vapor assisted, right? So in the vapor assisted, this evaporation can be happen. Vapor process solution process, flap evaporation can be carried out, and then we can create a different type. Like here, the source one, source two, both are evaporated, and substrate on the substrate it is depositing, and also this reaction is happening here there. So similarly, the here this substrate is there. Okay, and then we are flowing this argon gas, right? MAE is this high temperature is zone. Okay, so that's why this converting into the vapor. This one is also converting into the vapor, and then it will be depositing on this substrate. This is the reaction zone where this PB this perovskite will be generated. Otherwise, any other material like a thin film solar cell also. Okay, and that's one this thin film solar cell. This material we are putting and then evaporating, and then it will go to the substrate, and then further it will be deposited on that one. Challenges here, that's low material utilization. Okay, because very this maybe this vapor is there, right? But efficient, or maybe you will say this pinhole free type of this perovskite free, right? So film quality is very high, right? But due to this vapor, there is losses will be there. So high materials yield and scalability is required. Okay. So here there's highly uniform pinhole frame, highly grain size, large carrier. Okay. Large carrier lifetime in the sense of this only perovskite only. Okay. So, but here there's another requirement, right? Require this very high vacuum and also uniform collaboration of these materials. Like these two materials are there, then uniformly. Okay. Like for the CZ, like in the thin film solar cell, like CDTE. Okay. We are creating that one. Then maybe CD is there, T is there. Okay. Then we are putting that one and evaporating that one. Okay. Then they are reacting on the other surfaces. That's the substrate. Okay. So that reaction should be controlled. Okay. So in the physical, here the source, actually here there's a different target is used. Okay. And then it will be go into the substrate and then deposited over there. Here the also surface coverage is good. Also this one is physical technique is mostly utilizing right now. Okay. In the this research scale as well. Okay. So more control in the film quality, thickness, and morphology. This can be also adaptable with the industry as well. Okay. So this one is a vapor assisted. Okay. So this I think vapor assisted I already told about that one in the first one. So in this one, that's vapor is assisted, right? Only this PBI2 first we have put it, and then we are creating this vapor, right? Here vapor, and then CS3 and S3I will be there, right? And then we are, this is the vapor of the CS3 and S3I, and then annealing, then perovskite layer is there, okay? So high material yield and ratio and compatibility with that, okay? So another technique is that one, that's that's electrochemical deposition. Using that one, that's lead oxide is there, and deposition have been carried out through the electrochemically. So like this is the quite good technique, okay, low cost because okay, large scale productivity can be done. Rapid deposition is there, okay, well controlled over the surface thickness, and also low temperature variation technique. Okay, low temperature we know don't require a very high much temperature, right? For the producing the surface coating. Okay, so although it is not much explored till now, okay, so that should be explored, okay, later. So okay, so I will finish with this one, this slide. Okay, so in this slide that's a one challenges is there, this is the characterization of the material. Okay, like we are using a huge amount of huge different materials, right? There is a huge type of materials, this impurity can be there, like structure is if we are forming that one, how structures can be much more effect on that particular the solar cell. Okay, so to check all these things we need more accurate this information, right? So like if we are creating some solar cell, okay, film quality is very high, right? If your same is not working perfectly, you cannot tell that all the atoms is in the arrangement or not. Okay, like here this, if we are doing some tame on that one, that maybe give much more idea about this how this crystal and this atoms are arranged within that particular solar cell, right? Similarly, like morphological, okay, so like some I have seen few papers that is utilizing this different morphologies of material, like nanomaterials have been utilized, as particles have been utilized, and then fibers have been utilized. How this effect will be changing of that one. So particularly to check these things, we required very higher this and higher end instrument. Okay. Another point is like optical. Okay. So like before going for the material, okay, just check that what are the optical properties of particular that material, because if its optical properties are not good, then whatever we are doing, this is the waste, right? So these are the things which this if things have been gone, for like a structural property. So we have to think this about this different techniques for this one. Okay, like sometimes we require maybe there is a changes in this and nano level. So sometimes nano intendation, nano from is there, right? So where this particular at that point you can find out this what is the compositional at the surface or within that particular this within the bulk one. Okay, so these are the few things which have been still challenging that how to improve this efficiency and all that one, right? So with this one, I would like to thanks to organizer once again. Okay, and yeah, and thanks for listening me patiently. Yeah, yeah. Any question? Patiently, yeah. Hello. If anyone have any question, then you can.
So, dear participants, please unmute yourself and can clarify your doubts. So, participants, please unmute yourself.
Excuse me, sir. This is Dr. Ramesh.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So these, I heard of these wearable solar cloth.
Oh, again, sir.
This wearable solar clothing.
Okay. Bearable
So
solar.
can you throw some light on this?
Okay, actually, right now this development in the solar field is the flexible solar cell as well, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like yeah, flexible solar cell, like we are using some watches, right?
Yeah.
That may be flexible one. Like initially we thought about like this is the mobile phone, right?
Yeah.
So at that time the touch screen is not there, right? So later you can find out some maybe after 5-10 years it will be converted into the flexible. You can flip that one and put in your pocket, and whenever you require, and then you can open and then maybe that structure will come at later, right? So that is the flexibility. Actually, flexibility like organic solar cells is the much more flexible, right? Because there is we are using this polymer type of materials, right? So this flexibility will come into the picture, right? So like that can be even put it like a chip on the fabrics, right? And then it will be utilized.
But do you see any such possibility in the future? It's because especially in country like
Actually,
India.
yeah, I can understand your point,
Yeah.
but I will say one point. Okay, just imagine before 15 years. Okay, we are using this basic phone, right?
Yeah.
At that time, we are not imagining this. We can have mobile phones and everywhere we can talk, right?
Yeah.
So flexibility is the point. Like right now, you can many things is coming like this one. This is the flexible things which can check your breath. This what is the pulse rate and all that one, right? Flexible is there, right? And then they can tell about the sensors, how this your flex this how your sensing is there, right? That's how this pulse rate is going on, and then alert as well, right? Whatever this if it is increasing or decreasing, then can alert as well. Similarly, like flexible solar cells, I think in India I cannot say that's but possibility is always there, right? Whatever this invention is that if there is any need for that one, then invention will happen. Okay, so that is the point.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Participants, anybody wants to clarify?
Okay, no one?
So no one is ready for doubt, sir.
Okay, okay.
So thank you, sir. Thank you for sparing your valuable time with us and sharing your information to the participants. So we have a wonderful session today. So maybe participants gained knowledge from you.
Yeah, I think at least the basic knowledge they will gain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, once again.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah, so I would like to thank Department of Mechanical Engineering, right? And also this institute director, HOD and chairman, all these peoples, yeah. And also this organizer of this FDP, okay. And I have also thank to all the participants as well that they have listened me very carefully and patiently, right? So yeah, I think best for this FDP for the next sessions as well, right? Best wishes, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So can I log out?
Yeah, you can log out, sir.
Okay, thank you.
So dear participants, so this is the today's lectures. So tomorrow we'll have the 3 lectures. One is by Professor PMV Subbarao sir, Professor of Mechanical Engineering at IIT Delhi. He is going to deliver a talk on concept of a sustainable energy self-sufficient village using waste biomass. So in the afternoon session by Sripane Visam Raju is going to deliver a talk on eco-friendly living. After that, there is a virtual visit of 5,000 kilowatt solar PV power plant. That is the tomorrow's schedule. So please, all of you, join at 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you.